What's happening, everybody? It's Tim, of course. You're listening to this on my profile, so you know it's me. What you don't know is how somebody who's disabled can stay motivated. And I know what you're about. Oh, that's Boris saying hello, by the way. See, there he does have some form of communication. He's just saying hi there. Boris was shaking in the background, and he was saying hi as in a way of interrupting. It's funny, speaking of interrupting, Boris, a lot of people, hey, what's happening, Todd? What's going on? This is a live podcast for those of you who are listening later in the chasms of history and time. Interrupting people, rude people, interrupting people, rude people. I've been thinking about, I've been going to this treatment called cognitive processing therapy at the VA, CPT. Pretty interesting stuff. And one of the things they talk a lot about is how you think about things, right? Whether it's good or bad or what have you, whether it's right or wrong, and rethinking how you think about things. Just trying. Oh man, live comments are my favorite. I love that. Thanks, Todd. So they talk about restructuring the way you think about things, right? And I just could not help the fact the irony, I guess you can call it, in when this woman that was this female healthcare practitioner was giving this speech yesterday or day before yesterday about cognitive processing therapy. You could tell she meant it to some degree. And again, you can't judge, intentions, but you can just judge what's going on the outside. And based upon what was going on the outside, she wasn't there. She was like in another place. And now I've gone through this before already, the CPT program. I've gone through it in a group therapy and then in another application before I started this little round of therapy I'm in right now. So it's nothing new to me, but it's still good quality therapy. It's a great practice. It's good exercise. It's like mental jiu-jitsu. It keeps your mind strong and ensures that your emotions aren't taking control. So staying motivated. What do you do? What do you do to stay motivated? Right? Because if you're going to tell me that you work a 9 to 5 or a 3 to 11 or a 7 to 10 or overnights or whatever, and you work a job, and if somebody took that job from you and said, you can't work, you're not allowed to work here, what would you do different about your life? How would you view it differently? What kind of behavior would you begin to exhibit? What would happen? What would happen if all of a sudden they said you can't work, right? And that's not about, oh, Tim, here he goes, complaining about being disabled again. No, that's not what I'm talking about. That's not what I'm talking about at all. I'm challenging you, or trying to at least. If you say, I don't get my value or self-worth from my job, and then somebody was to come and take your job from you, and you were to get depressed all of a sudden, well, then you were a liar and you just got caught, because you do put a lot of worth and value. A lot of self-adoration for you comes from your job. And we know that because if for some reason your job was taken from you, you might get depressed, or you might feel worthless. Or I had to struggle with it today. Yesterday, I struggle with it often, right? It's a problem because you feel inevitably incapable of actually providing for your own family. But I'm good at a bunch of stuff. It's just that so often the issues I deal with, they stand in the way of what I'm doing. Yeah, absolutely. There you go. That's it. Yeah, we're doing that, by the way. I'm glad that Todd mentioned that. One of the ways that my family and I stay motivated, one of the ways I stay motivated is entrepreneurialism. I make money, right? I'm always doing something. I was talking to my buddy Luis the other day, and he's like, dude, you're not lazy. Because I was telling him how lazy I feel, how worthless piece of crap I feel, et cetera, et cetera. But he's like, you're not, dude. You're the farthest thing from it. He's like, you're always doing something. But it's crazy how I can be always doing something and yet not feel like I'm doing anything at all. It's crazy. It's crazy, crazy, crazy. So it's funny to think about these kinds of things, because when we're not thinking about these things, that's when these things become more than just funny subjects to think about while we're pontificating from one way to another. They actually become stuck points, as the VA calls them. They become points where you're actually unable to get unmoved from that emotion, feeling, thought, pattern, etc., etc., etc. And so, if we were to create a product the intention of it would be to, what I talked about yesterday, creating a benevolence fund for veterans in order to gain safe access to legal, legitimate supplements and medicine and treatment and therapy and resources that they otherwise wouldn't be able to get access to in a safe way, right? We're not a nonprofit, and we're not trying to raise money right now, but the intention will be, okay, guys, check it out. We have this pamphlet on how to maneuver the VA in a more efficient manner, right? Here you go, bam. Costs us $3 to make it. We'll sell it for $10. 50% of the proceeds will go to the benevolence fund, and the rest will go towards making new books. Bingo, bango, bongo. There it is. And I mean, I'm an absolute Tim Ferriss freak. So if you before you guys talk to me about 4-hour work week and all that stuff, I'm into that. That's my thing. Tim Ferriss is he's amazing. He's an amazing dude. Beyond his abilities physically, mentally, he's one of the kind of guys that I align with a lot. He's got a lot of good things to say about a lot of things. If you've never read his work, get over yourself and download the Audible app and then listen to 4-Hour Work Week or any of his books are amazing. And they're gonna help highlight problems that you have in your own life, on ways you deal with things inappropriately, and you're not gonna like it, or you're gonna think it's campy, or you're gonna have preconceived notions. Well, get rid of all those things right now. Don't be stupid and go read it or listen to it. It's a good book. I have some cognitive issues. I have a minor TBI, and I also get really bad migraines. And so reading for me has become, it's unfortunate because I'm an avid reader. I love reading. I could devour books after book after book, but unfortunately with my issues, I have trouble. So audiobooks have been my savior in that regard. I have been able to, listen to a book every couple weeks now, or maybe every month, just because I have a means of doing so with the headphones and all that jazz. So you should do that. You should download. Those are tools, means, methods, ways of staying motivated. It's simply listening. I bought some Bluetooth headphones. You can buy them anywhere. You can buy them on Amazon or whatever. But I bought mine from my local cell phone distribution store / criminal, enterprise, which I believe any cell phone organization is an atrocious criminal enterprise. Anyway, just because how much money they take, it's like it's a crime. I digress. I think you should go down and get yourself a pair of Bluetooth headphones, hook them up to your phone, download the Audible app. This isn't a paid sponsored program or anything like that. It's just telling you some good tools. Or better yet, go to YouTube, pay for YouTube Red so it'll play in the background. Go over to an audiobook that's free online. It's about self-help, called The Tao of Poo, or the Tao of Jiu-Jitsu, or mindfulness, or Cow in the Parking Lot, or On Writing by Stephen King. These are all excellent, amazing books. 4-Hour Work Week, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. These are all books that are going to help you restructure the way you think about life, money, because you don't need a friggin' job. That's a lie, dude. That is a freaking lie. You don't. Even if you're not disabled, even if you're 100% competent and capable, you don't need a job. Jobs are a myth. You do need to work. You do need to work. You do need to work your butt off, right? You have to be laborious, but working a job, that's all right. I mean, it has its benefits, but boy, is it taxing. Anyway, guys, I'm going to go here to this VA and do this VA appointment thing and not try to freak out. I appreciate all of you. You're amazing. For more information about the advocacy work that we do here in Omaha, please go to boristheservicedog.com. Like the Facebook page, please. It means a lot. Share some of the stuff and the content there with your friends. Let them know that you give a crap about veterans and that you're doing something. Visit veteransfornaturalrights.org. You can find out more about the national organization that is going to help restructure the way that we're thinking about veterans, veterans health, veterans legislation, and veterans medicine overall. I appreciate you guys. I love you. Thank you so much. Stay strong. Stay motivated. I appreciate it.